There was a city in southern Italy that woke up on an ordinary October morning and never saw nightfall. Pompeii had around 11,000 inhabitants. It was a prosperous, noisy city, full of life and contradictions, exactly as any city should be. It had bakeries with stone mills still holding flour inside, taverns with menus painted on the walls, brothels with lines outside. It had politics, scandals, elections, graffiti on the walls with insults and declarations of love. It was a deeply human place. Vesuvius stood just 6 miles away. Everyone knew it was a volcano, but it had been dormant for so long that most people had simply stopped thinking of it as a threat. On the morning of October 24th in the year 79 AD, the people of Pompeii woke up and did exactly what they did every single day. Around midday, Vesuvius began releasing a column of smoke. Some stopped to look, most kept doing what they were doing. The column grew until it reached over 20 miles into the sky. An observer at a distance described it as looking like a giant pine tree emerging from the earth. Then it began to rain pumice stone, small at first, warm, falling slowly like an impossible hail. Many fled at that moment. It is estimated that 2/3 of the population managed to escape in time, but thousands stayed, by choice, by fear, by responsibility, or simply because they did not believe it would be that bad. For hours, the pumice rain continued. Rooftops began to collapse under the accumulated weight. The streets became impassable. At midnight, the nature of the eruption changed completely. What came next left no time for any decision. A pyroclastic surge, a mixture of superheated gas, ash, and rock, traveling at nearly 200 miles per hour at over 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit, descended the volcano toward the city. In less than 1 minute, Pompeii ceased to exist as an inhabited city. Time literally stopped. For 17 centuries, Pompeii lay buried. The world moved on, empires rose and fell, and nobody knew exactly where it was. In 1748, workers digging an irrigation canal found fragments of a painted wall. It was the beginning of one of the most disturbing archaeological discoveries in history. What they found was not an ordinary ruin. It was a city frozen in time, with the table set, bread in the oven, and bodies exactly where they had fallen. The archaeologists found something nobody expected: voids inside the layers of compacted ash. They were the exact shapes of bodies that had decomposed inside them over the centuries. When the plaster dried and the surrounding ash was removed, the forms that emerged were of a precision that stopped the breath. A man lying face down with his hands covering his face. A woman holding a child, a chained dog that could not escape. Every posture told the last seconds of a life. What disturbed the archaeologists was not only the preserved death, it was the preserved life alongside it. There was a bakery with 18 carbonized loaves still in the oven. The baker had put them in to bake that morning and never came back to take them out. There was a house with a meal still served on the table, plates, cups, food remains, as if the residents had stepped out for a moment and promised to return. There were love messages carved in the walls, jokes, gladiator game results. The ordinary life of people who did not know they were living their last ordinary moments. Pompeii receives 4 million visitors a year. It is the most visited archaeological site in the world, and 2/3 of the city still remain unexcavated. What still lies buried may contain answers to questions we don't yet know we're asking. Pompeii is not a monument to death. It is a monument to the fact that life goes on until the exact moment it no longer does. And perhaps that is why nobody leaves Pompeii completely the same as when they arrived.